Okay, drivers, this is a little song I wrote back in 1988, laid over in Ontario for the weekend. It's called I'm Worried and Unhappy. It's all about driving that big truck. Well, here's a little song I wrote, and if you drive a truck, you might make it a note that I'm worried and unhappy. I drive my truck, I make no money. I get harassed by the DOT, and I'm worried and unhappy. The DOT, they come on too blunt, and then there's low-rate JB Hunt, and I'm worried and unhappy. Well, I was headed towards Shaky, it was almost dark when I pulled into a westbound Pickle Park, and I was worried and unhappy. This man that looked and dressed like a DOT ended up being a good buddy, and I was worried and unhappy. So back into the truck I put the hammer down. Well, I got pulled over in that next town, and I was worried and unhappy. You see, when I reached down to pull off my boots, I ran right past them chicken coops, and I was worried and unhappy. Well, I got pulled over by a full-grown bear. When I told him I was sorry, he said he didn't care, and I was worried and unhappy. He said, you open that door, wanna take a look? Then he asked me for my logbook, and I was worried and unhappy. You know, there's one thing that's wrong with this trucking today. There's just too many damn people take our money away, and I'm worried and unhappy. And when I get around a broker, I get angry and mean, 'cause there's nothing but a low life in between, and I'm worried and unhappy. Every time I let a broker get me a load, they always leave my percentage in the damn commode, and I'm worried and unhappy. If on the side of the road one was having bad luck, I'd run over his ass with my big truck and not worry and be happy. You know, there's one thing dumber than a cabbage patch, and that's every crackerhead working in dispatch, and I'm worried and unhappy. And when you pull into the scales and turn out your lights, that's about the time you lose your rights, and I'm worried and unhappy. Yes, I'm worried and unhappy. Well, after sitting 3 days in Ontario, I climbed that grapevine, then Barstow, and I was worried and unhappy. In between Needles and that state line, I ran into a couple of friends of mine, and I was worried and unhappy. Now what I thought was just a caffeine pill ended up being some real Lucille, and I was worried and unhappy. Now with a little bit of tingle in my hair roots, it was me and that girl and my best friend Foots, and I was worried and unhappy. Well, I drove straight through without taking a nap. The next day pulled into Air Cap, and I was worried and unhappy. Yes, I was worried and unhappy. One time stranded in a Cheyenne blizzard, I fooled around with a young light lizard. Now I'm worried and unhappy. Some people say the trucks are just in their way, but if we shut them down in April, they would never see May, and I'm worried and unhappy. So I've been walking that dog and kicking that possum, and driving my truck has been totally awesome, but I'm worried and unhappy. And I've come to the conclusion this is no longer it, so now I'm headed for the house. See you later, I quit, but don't worry, be happy. Now when I'm in my truck, they call me passing through. That's my song, so toodaloo, but don't worry, be happy. Now just don't worry be happy. I said, don't worry, be happy.